Now we're going to rinse the starch out of the flour, leaving back the gluten. We're going to rinse until the water is clear. I'm going to keep changing the water while we try and rinse out the gluten. It might get a little smushy, but we're just going to rinse, see how the water gets like foggy. We're going to keep changing the water and rinsing until we get the gluten alone and get all the starch out in the water. That's the starch. This is like the second wash. I know that people save the starch water to make, I think, bacon. Not real bacon, but they use the starch water to do other things. But I'm not gonna save that starch water because I don't have time to make any other things right now. So I'll probably try doing that another time. Okay, so I've washed this like a whole bunch of times, and most of the starch is gone. I don't know if our flour has more starch than gluten, because that was 3 cups of flour, and this is what I have left after. The water's still coming up white, so I'm just going to do one more rinse and work with this. As you can see, it has a little elasticity. Looks like gook. Okay. Okay, as you can see, the water's not as white. It's not milky. And this is what, so I think this should be the last rinse. And then I'm just gonna put it to sit, because it's kind of breaking apart, but it'll come back together. I think I'll put it to sit for maybe like 20 minutes. Okay, so we have the Maggi chicken flavoring. We have some thyme, some soy sauce. I'm gonna put it in here, and I'm gonna use it to season the gluten. I'm gonna season up the gluten, and then I'm gonna cut it into some pieces and put it to steam on the stove. You can see the texture. It's really like little holes. You see that? Okay. And seasoning. I see them use like a food processor or like a blender to mix in the seasoning. Get the seasoning in here. Next time I'll probably use a lot more flour so I can get more of the gluten. This is just gonna be my first test run on how to do this, the seitan. So I'm gonna knead it in. I want to get it into all the crevices so it's well seasoned. I guess we're gonna get a little bit of that chicken flavor from the seasoned cubes. They have different ways of doing it. Some people boil it in like the broth of the chicken to cook and then slice it. But we're gonna do it this way because I saw them do this in another video. I'm gonna work it in so it gets all the way in, and then I'll knot it like I saw into little sections and put it to steam. Okay, so I used a knife and I cut 3 strips, as you can see, from the middle, actually from up the top, come all the way down, like when you're braiding hair. So I had 3 pieces where you braid across, like when you plait somebody's hair across, and then I'll just tuck the end under, piece came off. Okay, it's not perfect. So it's like a braid from the top, come down to the end, do it like this. So you can see it's seasoned. And what I'm gonna do is put it on the stove to steam. Because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fry it. I'm gonna do some cornflakes, like a cornflake covering, and then I'm gonna fry it. We'll see. We got some water, boiling water. We're gonna put a little boiling water. We'll put this on the top, and we're gonna put the seitan in here. We're gonna cover it and let it steam. So we're gonna